Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome back to our English course, English Poetry from Romantics to Moderns. This is Ibrahim Elshinnawy welcoming you again to our 13th lecture. Although I'm so happy that the course is coming to its end actually, but I'm sad because our meetings, we have only one meetings, inshallah, which will be the end, the last lecture, the 14th lecture. Hope you are doing well in your studies. Hope my course is so simple and so easy to you. Please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me. Do not be worried, inshallah. Your exam, inshallah, will be quite simple. What you need is to go through the materials that you have here in my lectures. Read them well, study them well, and inshallah, definitely you will achieve great success, inshallah. Okay, this is, as you can see, our 13th lecture, and in this lecture we will move to a new age. Until now we have covered already two ages, the Romantic Age and the Victorian Age. You remember that the title of our course is English Poetry from Romantics to Moderns, which means that we need to pass through Romantics, coming through or coming across Victorian Age, and ending with our last stop, our last station, our last destination is modern poetry. Okay, so in modern poetry, and as we did in the two previous ages, the Romantics and the Victorian, we started with the main characteristics of modern poetry. Of course, these characteristics are important. Sure, you will have some questions about the characteristics, either about the modern or Victorian or Romantic. So please try to read this part about the main characteristics in Romantic poetry, the main characteristics of Victorian poetry, and then this one that you have in front of you, the main characteristics of modern poetry. Okay, very important. Please read them well. Some questions definitely will be about this part. So modern poetry is free from traditional restrictions of rhyme and rhythm, which means that this is the first characteristic of the modern poetry, that modern poetry is free from traditional restrictions of rhyme and rhythm. It is not limiting itself or restricting itself to the rhyme and rhythm which we used to have in the Romantics or in the Victorian poetry. The second characteristic is it is greatly affected by modern science. Greatly affected by modern science and technology. Number three, the modern poet is pessimistic, and of course you know that the word pessimistic is the opposite of optimistic, and we do not want to be pessimistic. I want you all the time to be optimistic, to be happy, to be ambitious, looking forward to nice things that you have in your life. But unfortunately, our modern poet, usually you find him pessimistic about the future of modern man and his world. So he is not expecting something good to happen in the future of humanity, and we find that he does not expect the best to come for the future of modern man and of the world itself. Number four, modern poetry is affected by modern political, social, and economic theories. the last one, number 5 here in that slide. In modern poetry, words are used more symbolically and literally. So they are using the words in a symbolic and literal way than the previous ones. Okay, number 6, the language of modern poetry is that of everyday conversation. And this is also another important characteristic, that we find that the language that is used in the poems similar to the language that we use daily in our life. So it is, as it is written here, as that of everyday conversation. The modern poet is speaking to his reader. He is speaking to his reader in an intimate tone of voice. He is speaking in an intimate, as a close friend to him. And in modern poetry, man is represented as lonely exile who is speaking his home. He is lonely exile who is seeking his home. Number 8, and this is the last characteristic that we have about modern poetry. There is no logical argument in a modern poem. You cannot expect that the argument that we have in a modern poem to go on logically and systematically. Rather, the poem depends on the free association of ideas. So you might have one idea discussed and then moving to another idea and then coming back to the first idea. So you do not have that system in argument or in discussing the ideas. So rather, the poem depends on the free association of ideas. The modern poem is a heap of broken images, just images of the poem, bringing these scattered images or broken heap of broken images, a heap of broken images. Okay, now the start will be with this poem. That this is the title of the poem that we are going to study, representing the modern poetry. This is, which is Next Please. Next Please. This is the title of the poem. It's very simple, just 2 words, Next Please. And this is written by Philip Larkin. This is the name of our poet, a modern poet, Philip Larkin. And Philip Larkin was born in 1922 and he died in 1985. He died in 1985. Okay, so now I read with you the poem itself, and of course we will have the explanation later on. So, always too eager for the future, we pick up bad habits of expectancy. So look, the language is very simple. So always too eager for the future. All the time we are waiting for the future. We are eager. Eager means that you have that desire to know what's coming in the future. So always too eager for the future, always expecting and predicting, waiting for. We pick up bad habits of expectancy. Expectancy, it comes from the word expect. So waiting and expecting what's going to come tomorrow. Something is always approaching every day. So we feel that there is something coming very close, approaching every day. Till then we say, watching from a bluff the tiny, clear, sparkling armada of promises draw near. So all the time you find lots of promises coming or draw very near to us. How slow they are and how much time they waste, refusing to make haste. Yet still they leave us holding wretched stalks of disappointment, for though nothing backs. Each big approach, leaning with brasswork prinked, each robe distinct, flagged, and the figurehead with gold tits. Arcing our way, it never anchors. It's no sooner present than it turns to past, right to the last. We think each one will heave to and unload all good into our lives, all we are owed, for waiting so devoutly and so long, but we are wrong. Only one ship is seeking us. So he is saying in the previous stanza that our expectancy, our waiting for something to come is wrong. Because for him, only one ship is seeking us. Only one ship that will come to us. A black, sailed, and familiar, towing at her back, a huge and birdless silence in her wake. No waters breathe or break. Now let's have a look at the summary of the poem to see and to know what are the meaning, what's the meaning of these previous lines, of these previous verses of the poem that we have. In the summary, we are excessively eager to know what would happen to us in the future. All of us, actually, especially those young men or women, they are eager to know what would happen to them in the future. If you are a young man, you need to know what would happen in your future, about your job, about your wife, about your children, where would you live? Many lots of things are coming to your mind about your future, and the same also for girls. They are also waiting for and eager to know what would happen in their future. Of course, expecting a nice husband, a kind one, what would be his shape, his behavior to her. Is he going to be a kind person or a bad person, aggressive one, a generous one or a miser one? Is she going to have children? How many boys? How many girls? So lots of questions arise in our minds about our future, right? So we are excessively eager to know what would happen to us in the future, all the time waiting for what tomorrow has for us. On account of this eagerness, we develop the bad habit of expecting, of hoping for good things to happen in our lives. So because of this, he said, because of this eagerness, we develop the bad habit of expecting or hoping for good things to happen in our lives. All the time we have the feeling that something good is about to happen to us. So all the time we feel that there is something that nice and good would happen to us, and every day we say that it would happen to us. We are like persons who stand upon the top of a cliff. So he is describing us that we are like a person who is standing on the top of a cliff, and observe a multitude of ships coming towards him. So he is saying that we are like someone who is standing on a very big stone and seeing lots of ships coming to him. Of course, ships here are symbols to the things that we expect them to come. So he's saying that we are like a person who is standing on a big rock, on a big stone, and seeing lots of ships coming towards us. Actually, however, we see not the ships, but promises of bright and nice things happening to us. Of course, he said that these ships are like the promises, the expectation are like ships. The approach of these promises like that of ships. So these promises, these expectations in the future are like the ships who are coming very close to us. The approach of these promises like that of ships is very slow, and they waste much time. So it means that we have to wait for long until these promises reach and arrive to us. And this might not be so soon. It might take time in order to know what's going to happen. It might take you long time, 2 or 3 or 4 years until you get a job. It might take also a long time to get a car, to get a house, to get a wife, to get a husband, to get whatever, to get children. So everything might not come so soon to us. So when you are lucky and you have these things very soon, you have to be grateful and you have to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because some people do not have the blessings that you have. If you have a wife, if you have a husband, if you have a house, if you are even in a good health, we need to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all these blessings that we have, because some people actually are waiting for these blessings and until now they do not have them. Okay, so the approach of these promises like that of ships is very slow and they waste much time. These promises do not materialize quickly. Materialize here means these promises do not come true, do not become real quickly, and eventually at the end they do not materialize at all. Some people are waiting for things to happen, and these things might not happen at all. Some people might wait for a child, and they don't. It might not happen that they have children. A girl might wait for a husband, and he may not come. Okay, and so on. Lots of things that we are waiting for, and we do not have them at the end, right? Or even if we have them, we might not have them in the way that makes us happy. You might be married, but you are not happy in your marriage. So, and you are waiting for a nice wife to be with you, or you are waiting for a nice husband to be with you, and this will never come, maybe. So these promises that we are waiting for in the future might come true, it might happen, or it might not happen at all. So that we greatly disappointed and miserable because of waiting for this thing, for this wish to happen, and these wishes do not happen. We might be turned to be at the end disappointed and miserable, sad. At a distance, each such a promise looks distinct and concrete, But with the passing of time, each of these promises fades away. Some people, because of waiting for a long time, now they even lost that eagerness to wait for this wish to happen. So they become disappointed, and they do not have hope, that they become hopeless that this thing will happen in the future, and they turn to complete disappointment. And this is actually not good, because you need to have hope all the time. Never lose hope. Never lose hope. You need to keep trying. If you are waiting for something and you cannot get it, do not be disappointed, but try to keep trying to reach your goal and try to reach your happiness, and you will reach it. If you are insistent, if you are strong to reach it, definitely you will reach it, even if you reach it not that quickly. We spend all our lives hoping for achievement and success, but our hopes prove to be false. And this is, of course, what the poet is saying here, that we spend all our lives, the whole of our lives, we spend hoping for achievement and success, but our hopes prove to be false. There is only one promise and one expectation which never fails to materialize. That is death. And this is the fact that the poet is trying to state clearly in front of our eyes, that there is only one promise, one thing that will happen in the future, and that thing will not miss you. This is what the poet is saying, and that's why we said that the modern poet is pessimistic. Mutasha'im is pessimistic, and he said that there is only one promise and one expectation which never fails to materialize, which never fail to come true, to happen. That is death. So he's saying that death is the only thing that will come, whether you accept it or you do not accept it, whether you wait it or you do not wait it, death will come. Okay, so critical appreciation. We have here the theme of disillusionment and of death. The theme of this poem is that disillusionment that we experience as a result of the disappointment of all our hopes and expectations. We keep hoping for something good to happen to us, but our hope is dashed to the ground every time. So although we are waiting for something to happen, but because it does not happen, our hope now vanish. Only one expectation is always fulfilled in human life, and that is the expectation of death. So this is the expectation that never avoid coming, that never misses us. Okay, now the title of the poem, next please, refers to one promise being followed by another. Literally, the title refers to a queue of persons waiting to receive something, and an official at the other end calling out for the next man in the queue to approach him and receive his certificate or his rations or his visa or whatever it is for which people are standing and which they are waiting to receive. So the word next please, usually we hear when we go to have some certificate, you have some official papers, when you go to the bank, when you go to and you are waiting in a queue, and then one finish, the other one comes. So next please means the next one. And who is the next? And of course this is what the poet is trying to ask in this poem. Who is the next? And who is the next? Of course he means who is the next one that will die? Who is next? Who will be dead next time? So next please means next. The next one will have his end. Okay, so are standing and which they are waiting to receive. The last stanza of the poem points to the inevitability of death. Inevitability means that it will happen, whether you accept, whether you do not accept, whether you are waiting, whether you are not waiting, it will happen. Death will happen to all of us. No one is saved from death. No one is able to escape death. So in fact, the real theme of the poem is death, as we said before. Larkin was obsessed with the idea of death. He was obsessed all the time thinking of this idea, the idea of death, and many of his poems deal with this theme, briefly or at length, directly or indirectly. So we find that many of his poems dealing with this theme, either implicitly or explicitly, directly or indirectly. Now, the use of an extended metaphor to express the idea of death. Our multitude of hopes is compared to a sparkling armada of promises. In other words, hopes are regarded as ships, and this is what we said before, which are drawing near but do not actually arrive at their destination. So all the hopes are like ships, but some of them might reach, some of them might not reach. Some of them might arrive to the right destination to you, or they might not be able to arrive to the right place or the right destination. There is only one ship would not fail to come. This is the only ship that is coming to you directly without any kind of loss, and it will not lose its way. It will come to you. There is only one ship which would not fail to come, and that ship is death. Okay, the metaphor of the ships begins from the second stanza of the poem and continues till the very end. The premise of this piece is that we focus our attention on the future instead of living in the here and now. Notes the inclusive use of we and our throughout the poem. Larkin suggests we spend our entire lives waiting for the words the future will apparently endow to those who patiently wait for them. The irony is, of course, that from our vantage point think we are looking at our well-deserved rewards in life, when in fact we are only seeing the Grim Reaper's vessel getting closer, which is death is coming very close to us. The rhyme scheme in this poem is AABB, and the first three lines of each are mostly in iambic pentameter, while the last line of each is much shorter and is either 4 or 6 syllables in length. Note, you need to know the tone in the first stanza. Lexes such as eager and expectancy have rather positive connotations, yet there is a tension when we see the phrase bad habits. The second stanza is rather cinematic in nature. You feel that you are watching a movie. The technique is rather typical of much of Larkin's work. He often provides us with vivid mental images. So mental images, you have as if you were watching a movie. You have these mental images all the time when you are reading his poem. We are taken to a cliff by the seaside. From here we see an approaching metaphorical armada of promises. It brings to mind the phrase that one day our ship will come in. He uses a three-part list to pre-modify this image. It is tiny, clear, and sparkling. This armada is laden with alluring promises and seems to a very attractive proposition to the onlooker. However, we have a hint of caution when we note the time referenced exists in the second half of this stanza, slow time and haste. He seems to be suggesting that much of the life is spent waiting for rewards rather than having them. The third stanza shows us Larkin's pivot word, yet. He will often set up a scene, then interject a yet or but or however to turn the conversation around. Okay, the naval semantic field is extended with lexes like bulk, presswork, and robe. Note the poet's effective use of post-modification too. Here, presswork is sprinkled and ropes are distinct, but the first line has given us a very clear negative land-based metaphor in the lines holding rich stokes of disappointment. We have been tantalized but are destined to be let down, to be disappointed. Such is Larkin's pessimistic view of life, which means that we become at the end pessimistic because of the view of the poet himself. The agony of lost opportunity is further extended in the fourth stanza. It starts with alliteration of repeating feh sounds. If we had originally thought the promises on board had been material wealth, our life is equally doomed to failure. Now this is the last slide, which is about the model question that we used to have at the end of our lectures. The last stanza of Next Please points to, refers to what? The last stanza. If you go back to the materials that you have, you definitely will have the answer to this question. So the last stanza of Next Please points to A, the happiness of the poet, B, the beauty of nature, C, the inevitability of death, and D, to the pleasure of life. Of course, the correct answer here is C, which is the last stanza of Next Please points to the inevitability of death. Okay, this is the end of our lecture. Please study hard. We still have just only one lecture, inshallah, that we will have later on, which will be a general revision about all the points that we have covered during this course. Please study hard. Don't worry, inshallah, everything will be fine. Your exam, inshallah, will be very simple. What you need is to study the materials that you have in front of you or with you. Thank you very much. All the best to all of you. Wish you good luck, not only in my course, but in all the other courses, inshallah. we trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will help us, definitely, but you need to study hard in order to get, inshallah, great success. Thank you very much. See you, inshallah, in the last lecture, inshallah, next week. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.